These little mini webinars that we're doing every month, they're sponsored by the Tampa Area Professional Photographers Association. I know some of you are members of TAPA, some of you are coming in from the meetup group. So for you people that are in the meetup group, the Tampa Area Professional Photographers Association is for people who are professional photographers or are interested in becoming professional photographers at some point, and anybody who wants to take their photography up to the next level. It's full of great people, true masters that are there and want to help you. So I'd encourage you, if you're not already familiar with TAPA, to go to the website, tappa.org. That's tappa.org. And you can find out all about it, or just message me. I'll tell you anything you want to know. I'll tell you this right now, though, I wouldn't have gotten anywhere near as far in my career without the help of the members of TAPA. It's a kind of group where you could call anybody with any kind of question, and they'll stop what they're doing and help you. In fact, there was an instance recently where a photographer was out on location and had a catastrophic equipment failure. It was a disaster. Well, within an hour's time, a TAPA member had brought out the equipment they needed to finish that job. That's the kind of group that it is.
Yeah.
So just for that alone, it's worth it. Randy?
Yeah, just like one of our members just within the past week caught COVID, and
Yes.
he had a shoot he had to do, and called up one of our other members, said, I can't do it, I have this, can you go cover it for me? So
that's right. Yeah, that's just one of the many benefits. Of course, you know, high-end national level speakers every month. And as a matter of fact, keep an eye out for meetup people. It'll be on the meetup page, TAPA members. It'll be on the Facebook page, and you'll be getting an email that next week we've got Bill Kadzow on Tuesday night. He's going to be talking about thinking about photography from an artistic standpoint. It's going to be really interesting, and I'd encourage you to make sure you watch that. Now, Pat is going to give away some stuff at the end of this. So here's what I'd like you to do if you would. We're thinking about like, oh man, how are we going to figure out who wins? So just to make it simple, type in your name and your email address in the chat sometime between now and the end. Now would be a good time. And then we'll pick some people at random. There's going to be an online Photoshop course, Photoshop for photographers, given away. I'm going to give away my sales training course for photographers. We got some Starbucks gift certificates, and I don't know what else. We're gonna send out some stuff though. So type your name and your email address in the chat, and we'll pick some people at random, and you'll get some valuable prizes. Yeah, and the chat's on the bottom. Unless you're on your phone, then I don't know where it is, but you can find it. So anyway, Denise, I don't see your email address on there, so if you don't mind typing that as well. And also, as we're going through this, you can type questions for Pat. Now, a lot of you already know Pat. Everybody likes Pat. And it's true, Pat's a wonderful person, but there's a technique to getting people to like you instantly. Now, I know some of you may attest, like, well, Chuck hasn't learned that technique, but I'm here to tell you there's a 4-step process. Pat is a nationally known sales trainer, and she's also an expert realtor. My partner, my lovely wife, Pat Vosburgh. So I'm going to turn you over to her, and she's going to tell you how to make people instantly like you. Pat?
Thank you. It's nice seeing some faces I know here too. So, everyone is used to having conversations, and so with COVID, we've had to kind of adjust to Zoom conversations, although, Chuck and I are full-time realtors, so we're actually out in the real world. Yes, we do wear our masks, and we have a lot of, protocols in place for being safe, but a lot of you may still be doing Zoom, and so you may not get the opportunity to have those, face-to-face encounters, but you still may run into people that just by chance have face-to-face. face-to-face to me is the best way to get to know someone. I think eye contact, even in Zoom, is extremely important. So just some housekeeping things. Whenever you are having a conversation with someone, eye contact is extremely important. One other housekeeping thing that's really important is to turn off your cell phone and to put it away and not be distracted by it. So those are just like two little things that I think are very important when you're meeting someone. And when I say meeting someone, it could be, you set up a meeting with someone. Let's say you're photographers. I think most of you here are photographers. At least I hope so. I think that's what this is about tonight. And so you're meeting a prospective client, and you want to make sure that you have a lot of respect for them. And to me, that really shows respect when you are engaged in that conversation with them and giving them your full attention and not looking at your phone. We're all very distracted. Listen, I'm like the worst person. I'm very distracted on my phone all day. I give a lot of referrals out all day to other realtors. So for me, my phone is like attached to me, truly. So I do understand about everybody being on their phone. But when you're engaged with someone, you really want to make sure that you give them your 100% attention. And you want to make sure that you're asking the right questions when you meet someone. So what would that entail? What does that mean? Carol's saying, yay, Pat. I hope that's too about the cell phones and stuff. So yeah, what does that mean? Are we really finding out what we need to know about the people? What about if you're dating even? There might be some single people here in the dating world, and you need to ask the right questions too. Even no matter what area of life you're in, you want to find out about the person that you're meeting, and you want it to be something that is pertinent and memorable. And it makes sense to be able to ask questions that are going to help you make a decision whether you want to do even business with that person. Because what if it's someone that you actually don't want to do business with? So a few things. When you meet someone, I'm all about complimenting someone. Complimenting people is extremely good. Just compliment people, just say something about them. Like, Randy, I love your backlights. Just like we were talking about. Wynn, I love that backdrop that you have, and ask questions about Wynn's backdrop. I see Denise has some beautiful photos behind her. That would just be an engaging, even on Zoom, an engaging conversation. Frank has something very interesting behind him, and I would ask some more interesting questions about that. Some people here have their cameras off, so we can't see them or their backdrops. So unfortunately, we can't engage with them that way. And some of them I don't know. Carol I know, and Kim Wormels I know. So, but you don't know exactly what is going on, and if they don't have their pictures up. Chad has nothing behind him. So Chad is just sitting there, but you never know. Chad might have something interesting to the right or the left of him, and we can't see it. So we have to ask him to pan around. But so asking interesting questions is always, looking around and making sure that you can see if that you can compliment someone is always very important to get a conversation going. I think it's, you can always find one thing about someone, no matter where you're out in the world, in the grocery store, getting gas at the gas station, any place you are, you can find something out about someone to compliment them, truly. And if you don't think you can, the next time you're out, look at someone, not creepy like, because you're not going to be creepy about this, you know that. And you won't be. You're going to find out something about someone, and it's going to be nice. And you're going to say, wow, that's a really nice car. That's not creepy. It's just going to be something that nice that you're saying about the person, something that's going to be a conversation starter. So some of you might be introverts and you might be like, well, how many people here might think they're an introvert? Let me ask that question. Is anyone here an introvert? Chad, you are getting off speaker.
I guess I could be at times. At certain
You-
times I could, yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you a question then. So you being an introvert, would you go up to someone and start a conversation about a compliment then?
Oh, I may say something to them. I may not walk up to somebody and say it.
Okay.
But or if let's say I'm out for a walk in the morning. Sorry, I have a sore throat, but I'll say good morning to them, but I may not walk up to them and compliment them on their dog or what they're doing or whatever the case may be. So
Okay,
kind of-
yeah, pets are perfect because they're an icebreaker. It's always like an icebreaker. So even if you are someone like Chad, who potentially could be someone who is maybe a little bit more shy, an icebreaker is perfect to have. So whether he's got a dog or someone else has a dog, it doesn't matter. As long as he feels comfortable in that scenario where he then would go up to someone and make a statement of, let's say, not even about the person, but just about the dog. What kind of dog is that? How long have you had it, etc.
Exactly.
So yeah, something like that. Is that correct, Chad? You would
Yes.
start a conversation like that. Yeah, so it's just an icebreaker. And so it's just to get a conversation starting. And what you really want to find out is you want to find out something about them. And that's the main goal, is to get them to kind of say, hey, this seems like a nice person. And that's going to be like the end goal to this, is for them to like you and to trust you. And you're also not making it about you, and we'll get to that. So you might have heard of these techniques, and I don't know if anyone has. It's called forming, FORM, and it's an acronym. I did write it up here already. So it's family, occupation, recreation, and motivation. Can y'all see that? Okay. So the M for motivation, sometimes that gets changed to message, or there's another acronym called FROG, and sometimes it's goals. So it just depends on who's doing the training, but basically they're all the same. It could be all the same. And so what you want to do when you first start out using these acronyms is you want to start forming people. And so let's go with the first one, family. So family first. Now, you're not going to come up to someone immediately and say, tell me about your family. It's not going to be like that kind of a conversation. It's not going to be da-deek, 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 da-deek. It's going to be a more relaxing kind of conversation. And when you get better at this, these do not have to be in these order at all. This is just to make it easier for you right now when you're out and about and you're thinking in your head, I'd really like to have a conversation with that person, but I can't because I don't remember right now how to do this and how to get some information that I need to make my business better and to enable me to get more clients and to get myself a date or to whatever, you know what I'm saying? So this is a good way to leave it right now, FORM, when you're forming someone, because when you meet someone, you're not going to be like interrogating the person. That's not how it's going to look either. Once you've done it a few times, and you should practice with a friend or with a mentor, and you're going to see how easily it flows. It will flow extremely easy. So let's go to the first one, family. So everyone loves talking about their family, and usually everyone has a family of some sort, especially if like they have kids or they want to talk about their children's accomplishments. So you want to ask pertinent questions relating to that. And what I mean is you want to say something along the lines of, so tell me, tell me about if, especially if the kids are right there. So, oh, so are these your children? Oh, tell me about the kids. What grade are they in? And especially right now with COVID, oh, are they in school? Are you doing homeschooling? Especially with COVID, how is that going? How long have they been doing it? Are they involved still with any sports or any outside activities? That conversation could go on for quite a bit, especially about family, because people love to talk about their families and their children, extended families. It could really go on for quite a bit. Now, Chuck and I don't have any children. So someone would say to me, oh, do you have any children? I'd say no, but we do have a fur baby. So there's people here who probably have a fur baby, like a cat or a dog, and that is our baby. And so that would mean another conversation. Oh, no, but we have this little 14-year-old dog, Lucky, who, is whatever. So it doesn't have to be something that's so structured. And forming is not so structured either. And that's what kind of I'm trying to tell you, is that forming is not like this structured interrogation that you're going to be doing with someone. Even though this looks structured, this forming, it's really not. And when you get used to doing it in your head, I mean, you're going to probably the first few times, you're going to be going, okay, FORM. You're going to be like, okay, I know this forming. But once you do it a few times, it's going to be becoming very simple for you. And speaking of families, families are not like Leave It to Beaver. And I wasn't around for Leave It to Beaver, but I do know about Leave It to Beaver. So some of you may not know what Leave It to Beaver is. It was like a show in the 1950s of like, mom and dad and the kids and a very intact family. Well, families don't look like that anymore. And families could be any kind of family. And we shouldn't assume what a family looks like anymore. And that's when you're out and about or you're meeting a client, families could be different. So don't assume anything about what a family looks like. And that's really important to notice that, because you could make a really big mistake, especially with a client. It could be a client of two women. It could be clients of two men. It could be a clients with two men who have, children. It could be a vast array of all different kinds of families that weren't around in Leave It to Beaver, or they were around, just not accepted. So just when you're thinking of family, just be more open to, being open to what family looks like now, and don't assume anything about family, and let them talk about their relationship and what their family looks like. And then you can go from there. So family is everything. And some people, like I said, have fur babies. And I wrote something else over here, always be interested. I use ABI. And when you're having these conversations with people, like I said before, always have eye contact and always be interested in what they're saying, because to them, this is like the most important thing in their life, is probably what they're telling you, especially about their family. Now, a lot of you are probably doing family portraits, I would imagine, maybe. So especially if they're telling you about their family, it's very important that you listen to who's going to be the important family members that they're telling you about. Does anyone have any questions about family? Because I don't want to go on. If you want to stay on family, let me know, because I don't want to continue on if you have any questions about family. Everyone's good? Okay. So the next one is occupation. And everyone has an occupation, whether they're a stay-at-home parent, a caregiver, or a job that they used to have. You want to find out all you can about it. So you want to find out what is it that they do? How long have they been doing it? What got them involved in that? What made them decide to get involved in that? What has this been a transition career for them? I'm sure there's people even here that you have not been a photographer your whole life. You might have even had a different career before. Has anyone here had a different career before? Well, ask that question. Have you all been professional photographers your whole life?
My
Yes,
adult
you are
life.
mute.
My adult life.
Your adult life. Okay.
Yeah, and I've had it before I became a full-time photographer. Been a lot of things. I've been a ski instructor and an animal
Okay.
handler, musician, but I've been a photographer or a wannabe photographer since I was pretty young. I always pointed at photography, but there wasn't always enough money in photography to put food on the table. But there was always enough money as a ski instructor in the winter or a musician in the summer. So,
Okay. So that alone would then lead into other conversations about, I would ask when, oh my gosh, so, tell me where you were a ski instructor, how did you get involved in that? Did you do skiing when you were little? Or, that could go down a different path. And then you would gain more information about the person. And so asking more questions and then listening. And listening is actually a really good technique, and it's extremely important. And the most important thing is to be able to listen and to retain what someone is saying. So listening is the bomb, truly, because you want to be able to be a very good listener. So Wynn has just told us some things about him that I hadn't even known before. So you see, you just during this little Zoom, we found out something about Wynn. So you never know what you're going to find out about somebody even tonight. Don't forget to give them the opportunity to talk about what their day looks like. Everyone's day can look different. They might go into work at 3 a.m. They might go into work and do something entirely different than you. Not everybody has the same time schedule as you. So you might have to do a shoot at a different time schedule, even because of their schedule. I don't know if anyone has run into that situation where someone has an off schedule with their jobs, but that alone you'd have to be understanding that their schedules are off, and you'd have to do a work around that. So you'd have to be able to, listen carefully and understand, and be able to do something regarding that to make it more palatable for them to do a shoot with you, and make it that everyone walks away happy. Am I right in that? Yes. So just make sure that you're listening carefully, and that when you leave all this, that you're not taking notes during this, by the way. You're just listening, and I know that's very hard to do. But you when you get good at this, you're going to get good at listening, and you're going to get good at retaining. So maybe when you first start out at this, you want to do it with a friend, because then you can write down notes and do cheat sheets. So if they're not at the job that they used to go to, let's say like Wynn, I don't think he's doing skiing anymore. So you want to find out, what happened with that job, what made him come to Florida, why did he leave? So that opens up a whole other window of opportunity for you to find out something more about the person that's sitting across the table from you. A good example of this, about just starting like a quickie conversation, is we were in a diner yesterday, close to our house, and the food inspector was there, the restaurant inspector. I've never spoken to a restaurant inspector. And so he had his little thing on. I did not even know they were employed by the state. You guys might have, but I thought it might be a city thing or something. And so I just started a little conversation with him. I didn't even get his name, or it wasn't trying to sell him real estate. I was genuinely interested. ABI, I was always be interested. I was interested in that particular position. And so I said, well, also you're the inspector that goes around and inspects restaurants. I said, how long have you been doing it? And he says, 2 years. I said, well, how did you get involved in that? He said, well, I was a restaurant chef for 20 years. And he said, and what really changed for me was I missed all of my children's dance recitals and Christmases and everything in my family, and I had enough. So in like a blurb, like it was seconds, I found out so much about him. I found that he's a family man, he's got children, that he was a chef, that some restaurants he worked in town. He told me, I don't remember, but you know what I'm saying? It's just that in a very short amount of time, I found out so much about him. And then he was scurried off by the owner of the restaurant, unfortunately. I really wanted to talk to him more because he was very interesting. But my point being is this: everyone has a story. All of you here have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful story. You all have a book inside you, trust me, that needs to get out. And everyone wants to talk to you and find out what your story is. They do. I know they do. And so when you're out and about, I don't know if you all wear badges. I don't have my badge on because I took it off to do this Zoom meeting, but I don't go anywhere without my badge. And it's got my name on it. It's got what I do. I am very much in favor of badges. If you all don't wear badges, I would suggest you do. It shows that you are a professional. It'll tell what you do for a living. You could get jobs from that. And I know I'm going off a little bit on this, but badges are absolutely awesome. Ryan, are you laughing at me that I'm talking about badges? I see you laughing.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm gonna wear the badge to the grocery store,
I wear a
I
badge
thought that'd be weird.
everywhere. Do you know I've gotten business in a grocery store? Why wouldn't you? Are you a
I'm
photographer?
gonna go get one. I'm gonna go get one. No, I'm
Go
not.
get one.
But
Yes, you need to get a badge. Yeah, I mean, it sounds weird, and you wear it on your right side because when someone's going to shake their hands, they're going to come with their right hand and they're going to shake their hand for you. But I'm a big believer in badges because people, they're going to see your name, they're going to see your nice little logo that you've done, and they're going to say, oh my God, I need a photographer for a headshot. Can you send me this and this? How many of you are carrying nice professional cards with you? Myra, yeah, okay, good. Yeah, so, nice cards. Always, of course, I'm carrying cards with me. So yeah, you need to have cards and you need to have your badge on you. So I just wanted to say that in terms of occupation, you're going to be asking people about their occupation. They might be asking you about yours. And if you don't have a badge or cards with you, they're going to be saying, oh, okay, who is this person? It also gives you some credibility and authority, trust me. And I know that sounds weird, but with a badge on, you can walk in basically anywhere. And I know that sounds weird, but try it and you can. You can walk in almost anywhere, even now. So we're going to go back to this. We're going to go back to forming. So recreation. Besides photography, I'm sure everyone here has other kinds of hobbies they like. Well, Win, we know, likes skiing. I don't know how often he gets to do it now. And Randy likes to drink some vino over there. So there's other things that everyone likes to do in their spare time. So we live in sunny Florida. So you'll see that people might be wanting to talk about going boating. Aha, Chad likes vino too.
I do
See?
too.
There you go. So you might ask them, you know, do they have a favorite bottle of wine? So just ask them different, very open-ended questions. You know, what's their favorite wine? Where do they go boating? Do they go, you know, do they go water skiing? Do you go water skiing, Win? No. Okay. I thought you might do that too. You know,
I've
they
been
might
known-
go.
I've
What's
been known
that?
to drive the boat, but I don't do water skiing anymore.
Okay. All right.
There's a story there.
All right. Okay. So it just depends on where they live. They could be from out of town. And let's say they're from out of town and they want to do portraits on the beach here. Well, they don't, you know, you might ask them about boating and fishing and all that, but they could be from Colorado. And then Win could have an awesome conversation with them about skiing. And that would be something that would be friggin' amazing because he could say, I used to be a ski instructor over there in Colorado somewhere, right? I don't know where you were, but I'm just saying, you know, wherever it would be. So just keep your mind open to, you know, and listening once again to what people saying are about themselves and where they're from. Know a little bit about maybe where they're from. You know, I'm sure that you guys know a lot of places around the country. You're not like living in a bubble, like you're not going to know, you know, what's out in California, the wineries, and you know what I'm saying? You know, you're not going to know about San Francisco. You're not going to know about New York. You know, we know a lot about the whole world. Belgium chocolates. I mean, come on now, right? You know, so there's like a whole world out there that we know about, and people are coming here to Florida to see this beautiful place that we have here. And there are clients here for you that want to do beautiful portraits on the beach or in your studios if you still have them. Most of you don't, I know. But there's a lot of opportunity here, and finding out about what they do in their part-time is, and for hobbies, is extremely important, especially when they're sitting across from you. Ask them what they did even this weekend. You know, what do you guys have planned for this weekend? In the Tampa Bay Times, they have, I think it's on Thursdays today, they have like a weekly thing about things that are going on for the weekend. If you're doing a photo shoot for someone on the weekend, you may want to be able to have that with you, and you are going to be the source for them of things to do. Oh, what's to do around here in St. Pete? Well, here, I have a list of things that people can do in St. Pete over the weekend. You just make copies of it and you can give it out to them. They will absolutely love you, recommend you to all your friends, and you will be the best thing, you know, since sliced bread. You know, just be the source of information for them to know where to go for restaurants. You all know, you go out, you guys go out, you're still going probably out to have food, or you have been in the past. Because of COVID, you may not be, but restaurants are open now. And I think they're at 50% capacity. I'm not sure. But they're still open. All Beach Drive is open in St. Petersburg. All of that's open. Bella Brava's open. All the restaurants on Beach Drive are open. So when you're doing a photo shoot, you're not there just to do the photo shoot. You're there to get other business too. And if you can show them that your value proposition is more than just that photo shoot, they're going to hire you to do some other things as well. So just keep that in mind in terms of, I know we're talking about recreation here, but recreation is besides just, their hobbies and stuff. Think about other extracurricular activities that you can assist them with. Anyone have any questions about recreation? Hi, Sandra. I know you came a little late. If they have, let's say someone says, well, I don't have any hobbies at all. I just like to sit home and read. Well, guess what? There's, what kind of books do you like? Oh, they'll tell you what kind of books they like. And then, you can recommend, oh, listen, I love those kind of books. I just read so-and-so, and this is another book. And, you can have a whole conversation about books then. I don't know if anybody here likes to read. I love to read. So, but hopefully you can, engage in that with them. So just kind of keep your mind open to having a good conversation with somebody about not just what you like. It's all about them. I said that from the beginning. This is all about them. It is not about you. You need to find out about them, because this is not going to be about you at all. You want them as clients, and you want them as your cheerleader, getting you more business. So I'll show you this again. It's forming, it's family, occupation, recreation, and motivation for those who just joined us. If you want to write that down, or you don't have to. So motivation, like I said, could be message or goals. It could be meeting, getting a meeting with the person as well. And so motivation is going to be your motivation, and it's also going to be their motivation as well. And like I said before, you want them to be a cheerleader for you. How interested is this person in your mission? Now, I know during this whole forming process, you've been kind of asking them a lot of questions, but during this as well, they've been kind of asking you things too. And some things about you have been coming out. It's not like been just a totally one-way conversation, but the way the conversation will flow is that they'll ask you a question, but you're going to direct it kind of right back to them. And we can do examples of this if you like. I can pick someone from the audience and we can do a little forming exercise if you want, but it goes really smoothly, and it goes right back into you asking them. So if someone asks you, oh, how long have you been doing photography? You're going to tell them, oh, I've been doing photography for, 10 years. And I got involved with it because I left being a teacher. And then you're going to ask them a question like, so I understand you've been a teacher. How long have you been doing that? So you're going to go right back into asking them questions, because people love to talk about themselves, as you know, right? People love to talk about themselves, and you want to redirect. You always want to redirect it back to them. You don't want it directed to you at all. You don't want them really asking you too many questions. You want some questions so that it won't be awkward, that they know absolutely nothing about you, but you want them to know something about you, but not too much. You want them to walk away like feeling like a king of the hill, like, oh my gosh, that was like the best time I ever had. And trust me, when you do this forming, they are going to walk away feeling like $1 million. And I've had this happen. I've gotten thank you cards from people saying that was like the best time they've ever had. So it's amazing how this works. You want to make sure that when you walk away, is this someone that they will feel comfortable recommending you? Will they recommend you to someone? We talked about, how to get them to recommend you, and that's important to do. If you want to make sure that they're going to be either a new customer or a prospect, you want to make sure of that. If you have not, if it has not come up that you have not told them what you do, which is very unlikely, trust me, it's very unlikely that will ever come up this way, but it's your turn to tell them what you do and what you're passionate about and what your motivation and your mission is. So you all have to know really what that is, which I'm sure you do since you're in photography and you should know what that is. If you have not let them know during this conversation that you've been having with them for X amount of time, then you need to know, let them know exactly what that is. And now is the time to ask them for the meeting. Ask them, would you like more information about what my product is or what I'm doing? What I can help you with? Would you like to know more about my mission? I can show you, I can give you my photography website. And here's my photography website. Here's my card. And I'd love to share with you some more information and help you make a decision to book with me. And I'm a little more forward. Chuck can attest to that. Poor Chuck. I would say I have an opening on such and such a date. Can we book for that? Can we schedule? I'm all about scheduling and getting someone on the calendar. So if you don't do that, try to do that with someone, even if you're meeting them the first time. Get them on your calendar for either a booking session or for meeting them the next time to get them to understand who you are even and what you're about, or to have them if you have a physical location. Does anyone here have a physical location like a studio anymore? Okay, so, okay, that's good. So how do you do with your clients? Do you, when you meet your clients, then this is an important question. So do you have a first meeting or do you have two meetings? How do you do it, Denise and Myra?
I always invite my clients in to tour the studio, take a look around, or potential clients in for that first meeting in the studio.
Okay, and do you book them then and there?
Yes, that is the goal.
That's good. What would be like the percentage that you book the first time, or do they kind of say, well, we'll think about it, or?
Most people, if they can be bothered to come into the studio, then they're ready to
Good.
book.
Okay,
Probably 80% of the time.
that's good. What about you, Myra?
I was trying to figure out. Saying, can you hear me?
Yes, now we can.
Okay, I have to hold this down.
Sure.
Well, when someone calls and wants an appointment, I always ask it what they're looking for, and then I schedule. Sometimes they'll come over first, and sometimes they just book the session fee, and then I do fine art portraits. So it's like 5 hours or more. They get hair and makeup. They get food, they get like everything. And then by the time they leave, they always compliment me on the experience, but then they come back 2 weeks later for their reveal. And so then I print on canvas, and then they're hiding behind a curtain. And then I draw the curtain, and then we have, they do the woohoo cry, oh my gosh thing. And then I pull out the price tag.
Okay. That's okay. So it's about experiences. So experiences are, I'm all about experiences. And so Myra is doing experiences with that whole thing, which y'all were great.
All I know is
And everybody, I want to remind you, go to tappa.org, TAPPA.org for all the information about the Tampa Area Professional Photographers Association. And for those of you who were members last year, if you sign up before the end of the 9th, which is next Tuesday, you get this year's membership for half price.
Which is how much? $50?
Don't ask me.
I think it is.
I don't have it memorized.
$59.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right, good. Just so
Yeah.
people know.
yeah, worth
And if you don't know what TAPA is,
TAPPA.org
well, I'm saying,
or
Well-
ask us.
yeah, 727-743-1740 is Chuck's phone number.
And if you want any help with sales or anything at all,
Yeah,
call either one of us. We're happy to help. No strings attached.
yeah,
We really do like helping people out and seeing people successful. I know I've had a great career, and it's because of a lot of the people. Some of the people are in this room, Randy and Rob in particular, and Lynn also taught me a lot, and I wouldn't be where I am without their help.
yep.
So we like to help people too. So thanks for coming today. It was awesome, Pat.
Thanks. It
You're
was fun.
awesome.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks.
Thank you, Pat.
Oh,